This is for Algebra 2. This is solving quadratics by graphing and factoring. We need to remember that a solution is also called an answer, a zero, an x-intercept, or a root. When you take the text, it may ask any of those questions, but they're all wanting the same thing, and that's where it crosses the x-axis. To solve quadratics using the table, you'll put your equations in at y equal. You'll look at your table and find where y is 0. To solve using the graph, you put it in y equal, and you find where the graph crosses the x-axis. If you're using the calculator, it's going to be second calc number 2 for 0. You're going to have to do this 2 times, because you're going to have to do it each time that it crosses the x-axis. This graph crosses the x-axis twice, which means that you have 2 real roots. This graph comes down and touches it, but doesn't go below it, so you have 1 real double root. This graph never actually touches it, so there are no real solutions. NRR. Do not tell me no solution. There is an answer, it's just that it's complex or imaginary. To solve quadratics by factoring, you get everything on the same side. You factor them, you set each factor equal to 0, and you solve. So looking at x squared minus x equals 6, if you were going to solve this by factoring, x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. Find the factors of 6. Signs are different. Largest is negative. They have to equal 1. So x plus 2 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. X equals negative 2. X equals 3. Get everything on the same side and in order from x squared to x to the number. So 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 equals 0. Multiply the first and last number and you get 10. That's what you find the factors of, 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Signs are different. Largest is positive, and I need the ones that equal 9. I can't just go to my equations now. I have to bring down my 2x squared minus 1x plus 10x minus 5 equals 0. Cut it in half, pull out an x, 2x minus 1. Plus, pull out a 5, 2x minus 1. So x plus 5 equals 0 is an equation, and 2x minus 1 equals 0. Solve those. X equals negative 5, and x equals 1/2. This one has 4 terms. Get them all on the same side. So 2x squared minus 4x plus 8x minus 16 equals 0. When there's 4 terms, you're going to cut it in half. Pull out the 2 and the x, and it leaves you x minus 2. Plus, pull out the 8, and it leaves you x minus 2. So you have x minus 2 equals 0, and you have 2x plus 8 equals 0. So x is equal to 2. 2x is equal to negative 8. X is equal to negative 4. If they give it to you and want you to use the table, you would put this into the calculator at y equal. Once you get it into y equal, you do second graph, it pulls up your table. The zeros are going to be the places where y is 0. So your zeros are negative 1 and 3. Same thing on this one. Put it in at y equal, look at your table. The zeros are where y is 0. So 1 and 3.5. When you have a graph, you're going to put it in calculator at y equal. This is where you have to go second calc number 2 for 0. Got to do it twice. You do it the first time, you get before and after. And then the second time, you're before and after. It's very important what order you go. Same thing on this one, except notice it doesn't go below it when you look at your graph. So if you'll look at your table when that happens, you can usually find your root there, and it's a double root. This one does not touch the x-axis, which is why it is NRR, no real roots. This one has you work backwards. You look here and you find that negative 3 and positive 2 are your roots. To make it a factor, you have to use the opposite sign. So instead of negative 3, it's x plus 3, and instead of positive 2, it's x minus 2. Then you just take x plus 3 and x minus 2 and you distribute. So you get x squared minus 2x, distribute, plus 3x minus 6. Combine the like terms, and that's how they got their final answer. Okay, so this was solving quadratics by graphing or factoring. Come see me in Speed if you have questions.